how did you gain that spiritual connection with the music? Or what can a student do who's like, I know how to play, like I've done the work, I went to school, but I'm just not feeling, I'm feeling a disconnect between who I am and the music I'm being told or I learned to play. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I went to music school too. I was at UM, and it was really, I mean, it definitely is harder in the university towns where there's really not a jazz scene. And Miami's jazz scene is a lot more happening now than it was when I was there. Even in just 4 years, a huge change. But for the students that, I think from what I've witnessed, the students that wanted to get in the spirit or like just practice weren't going out there enough and getting life experience, because it goes hand in hand, and jazz is the people's music. I mean, in the, you know, the great legends that we know and love, I mean, some of them went to school, but and definitely study, but it's hand in hand with you know, going out there to jam sessions, not just jam sessions where you're going to play Cherokee, like, you know, 400 BPM, and like, you know, show off what you've been working on. But it's like, go to a jam session where you know that, like, let's say Troy Roberts is in town in Miami, and like, you're like, oh man, I want to, you know, jam with him and learn from people that are better than you and can teach you. Oh, sorry, I heard a little something. And just also just going out there and having, just like, get lost in a bad part of town once, lose your wallet, and not stuff like that really actually helped me understand more of the spirit of this music. Stuff that, like, when I couldn't pay my rent for like 6 months, and I couldn't eat, you know, because this music came from hardships. The people who played it had to live in such conditions, you know, like people, discrimination, I mean, stuff that you and I would never understand. But even in just the time that I was at school, like, I actually forgot about this, but I couldn't pay rent or couldn't eat. Just little things like that helped kind of, I can now sing from a place where, and that's so much of it, you know what I mean? Like, just being in that space, that's not comfortable. That's music. It's what it's all about. And if people in school, you know, they're in their practice room and then they go to their apartments and practice and listen to records, okay. But, you know, go out there and throw yourself in a situation where you don't know how you're going to get out of it. And I think that has a lot to do with it. I hate to say, because I wouldn't want to urge someone to go get in trouble or anything. But
you don't want to. Hey, a little bit of trouble is not too bad. I mean, I think what you're saying is encouraging, get more life experience of, not even just musically, just get more life experiences, or self-evaluate what are the life experiences you can draw on to connect to your music. Because what you're saying is the authenticity came from moments where you had a hardship or anything. I mean, even non-music, but you connected that to yourself. And
personal struggle. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, that's a great recommendation. And it's not to belittle anyone else's struggles or in past times having more struggle, but you can even find struggles that happen to you, even, you know, at some level, and that automatically just makes your connection to a song or the music better.
Yeah. And if you're wherever you're living, you always make a trip to New York and just feel the sting of like, damn, I really need to get my shit together, you know, throwing yourself in that environment. Or if you're living in New York, you know, just don't just go to like the hangs where everyone's at, right? Smaller measure, do that for sure, but also go to like 11th Street Bar. Like, you know, that's where that's where the best bebop guys are, like, you know, Grant Stewart and Richard Clemens, or you got Joe McNarelli, and sometimes, you know, Barry Harris comes every week, you know, and go to Barry Harris's classes. Like, make use of the masters while they're here. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love playing with Emmett so much, because he you know, he has that master's program, the project where he will do a record with Ron Carter or Tootie Heath or Jimmy Cobb, Jimmy Heath, and then do a tour with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for his own personal gain. It's for exactly what you were talking about, connecting these generations and hearing the stories and learning from these people while they're here, and just getting to know them. And that's also something that the schools have a hard time, I guess, with unless I guess New York, because I wouldn't know about the schools in New York, but because a lot of them teach at those schools. But at least in Miami, like it seems so unattainable to ever meet someone or like talk to someone like Ron Carter or Jimmy Cobb.
We're from Miami too, so I get what you're saying. Like it really comes down to putting yourself, like you were saying earlier, like you're just putting yourself in a very concentrated environment, right? Mm-hmm. And when, nothing against Miami, but the concentration just isn't the same as a New York. So you go to New York and you're like, the feeling is just surrounded, and your atmosphere, and you're putting yourself in places where people are every night. That's few and far between down here for many reasons. Yeah. But I think that's the big difference,
And I only say Miami because that's where my experience I'm pulling from. I couldn't speak to the other cities out there, but Miami's like, I go Lanyap, and that's a great hang, man. So.
Yeah, and there are still plenty of legends, I'm sure, across the U.S. or wherever you live. Like even down here in Miami, we have Ira Sullivan, and it's not that you can necessarily go to his house every day, but he definitely plays.
But why not? Why not? Like, get to know him. Yeah. Like, put yourself in that situation where you want him to you want to be an apprentice, or you want him to mentor you. Mm-hmm. He's cool, man. Like, and where does he play? Blue Jean Blues? What's that place where he plays?
Yeah, he would do Blue Jean Blues. He did Open Stage.
Yeah, like I never saw students there. You know what I mean? And how I answer the question is like, it seems so obvious, that's what you do if you want to get into the spirit, like learn from someone who was there. Mm-hmm.
And still is.
And of course, some of the teachers and faculty were there, like Brian Lynch and Shelley. These guys are brilliant too. So, make use of their mentorship.